Good time zones, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of The City in Yellow. With our beautiful investigators joining me today, the usual team, starting with Will.
Hey everybody, I'm Will and I play Herbert Percy Cunningham, Squadron Leader retired 32nd Squadron Royal Flying Corps, DFC, DSO and BAR.
And he was ready for that. Followed up by Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I play Janet Ray, the definitely not shady nurse.
Cool. Hopefully Chelsea will stay with us until the end because Weather has decided to be a dick. Followed by Kit.
Hi, I'm Kit, and I'm playing Bridget Braun. She's bringing her guns and her badge.
Cool. Matt.
Hello, I'm Matthew Smith, and I'm playing Matthias von Lamberg, a retired Austrian soldier, and that's about it right now.
And finally, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm playing Odile. She is, well, she read a book. Not feeling so great about it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, before we start this episode where absolutely everything is going to go great, let's start by, having a little recap of what happened last time we saw each other. It was a while ago. So our group went deeper in their investigation and uncovered some explosive content. They shared their information with the local police through Superintendent Levi. They also visited their friend Ezekiel in the Stephansfeld Asylum, using the opportunity to meet up with Leo Schnug, an artist that seemed linked to the conspiracy at hand. They followed up on a theater group that plans on performing on Sunday, September 12th at 8 p.m., and whose posters include a peculiar symbol that they encountered many times in their searches, and whose drawing was made by none other than Leo Schnug. And now, we come back to our investigators on the morning of the 12th. Guys, what are you up to on this beautiful Sunday?
Well,
What was our plan? There's my notes.
Well, you tell me. You obviously have a plan. I need to know which one it is.
Yeah, I have nothing.
My notes just say if they don't have enough performers, they can't.
Yeah, there's
perform.
18 performers, so we want to just start kidnapping.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan to me.
I mean, me and Odile did not meet any of them. We could try and go in as actors and try and sabotage it from within. Matthias is not a good actor. You all know this very well. He has no talent for anything deceptive.
yeah, I think, oh gosh. I don't know. We have to figure out a way to stop this play. And if kidnapping and holding hostage some performers for a little while.
We're also missing something. I just occurred to me that might be a little of it. We have at least some. We have the ear of at least some of the police that are investigating this, and I mean, if we happen to find out information that some of these actors may be connected in some way with those explosives they found earlier at a key time, they might be inclined to stop this production just to question some people.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
a good idea.
That's a possibility, and that doesn't cause too much of a fuss. I mean, nobody gets hurt really. It just police waste a little time. Maybe not. Maybe they find out something we don't know.
Yeah, Bridget has a dumb idea.
We don't
What
even
if-
have to tell the truth. We
Yeah,
can just say they have connection.
Yeah, what if we call in a bomb threat for the area wherever the thing is going to take place? Telegrams were, got their attention.
Mm.
Just so they can cordon off the area or something?
It could. I wonder if they wouldn't perform this nearby or adjacent. Like they might just perform this somewhere else. Like, sorry, this got cordoned off for reasons. We're going to perform here next door.
Well, wasn't the theory that they were trying to gather a bunch of people in? So if we take that space away, will they be able
Yeah.
to move whatever they had planned? I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know what
We
they're
don't know.
doing.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
we don't either. Like if that's true, that would work. But if it's not, then we'd have to figure out a plan B for that in case they decide to move. Because I mean, I don't. Matthias doesn't really know much about this Hoobaloo magic stuff, or if they're if these cultists are specific as to location. Because yeah, he's just like he doesn't really truck with a lot of this stuff.
Why don't we combine A, B, and C? Call in the bomb threat, say that specific people are in on it, and then maybe pick some people off ourselves so that they don't have enough people to relocate.
If we do too much stuff, it could look like it could become obvious that we're trying to do something, and somebody might notice, including the cops. They might think we're being cranks or something like that. If we commit to only one or two of these, then we're less likely to draw undue attention. Like I think we should. I mean, we also don't know if there's somebody else involved watching this now. I mean, it seems like there's somebody else at work here that what is that gentleman's name?
The Ambrosius guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ambrosius
no.
Dietelmeyer.
Diedelmeyer, yes. He
Mhm.
seems to, for somebody who's no longer in the city, or supposed to no longer be in the city, he seems to have his hands in a lot of pies. We might not even know all of them. He might be, he might have people acting to ensure this goes off that we don't know about. I know that sounds a little paranoid, but it just seems like he's popping up everywhere. First he just seems to be involved in everything. The sabotage, this play, all these plans, even the great breakthrough he seems to have his hand in somehow, and yet we can't find him. He knows that artist we happen to meet. It makes me think there's probably more here that we don't know that he has going on.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but what other lead do we have besides the play to follow up on?
Oh no, I agree. I think we should definitely pursue this. I don't know what other kind of interference he can throw in, and if I don't know, if we throw too many moving parts in there, it could get confusing, or it could make us look like we're the ones trying to be crazy. We have a lot right now. We have a lot of if we say stuff, people will believe us. Certain people in government, and if we abuse it, they'll start to think we're cranks, and then we might really need them to do something for us. So I don't know. It's just something to consider, because I don't think this is the end. I don't think it ends with this play. I think this is just another step in whatever weird plan this man has.
Hmm.
Low
Well, do
profile
you?
is good.
Yeah. Do you
What was that?
think that anybody in City Hall, like our friend in there, could stop, like, I don't know, like a performance going on in an area? Like pull permits, or I don't know.
Again,
What-
ship list would be a police.
What
would
were
be
you about to say,
police coming
Percy?
in.
I said
Percy.
low profile is good.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said I think cops would be the. I mean, like I don't. Yeah, I guess we could try to do the city hall thing. It just seems like it leaves a lot of fingerprints of us interfering. I don't know.
Do
Sorry,
we need to
I'm
stop the
second-guessing.
play? Do we need
We
to
do.
stop it? We do?
I think so. He seems to really want this for some reason, and I don't know why. Like maybe it's maybe he wants to make sure everyone's somewhere else while he does something. Maybe he has some weird, crazy beliefs about. I mean, you've seen how people react to that symbol in those books. Maybe he wants to have this spread. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of things that we are seeing. I think this is some component in what he wants done. I don't know for sure though. That's my guess though. Seems like he went through a lot of efforts to make this just so. I don't know how important it is. I mean, it could be irrelevant. It could just be him wanting to stroke his ego and tease everyone with clues about what he's about to do.
I don't know. The King in Yellow can't be performed. It just can't. It's gonna be bad. That book is bad, anything associated with it is bad. It needs to stop.
Okay with you. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's make sure to stop them from playing.
Well, we have 3 plans. Which do we think has the best chance of success? You know, do we try to get the cops to break this up? Do we try to pick people off, or do we? What was the third plan? Sorry.
It was a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
So yeah, it was bomb threat. Tell the cops that some of the actors are,
Oh yeah.
Criminals of
In
some
on it.
kind in the plan, and the bomb threat or kidnapping some of the
Yeah.
players.
Or we could try City Hall and see if maybe they can officially, condemn this, and then just kind of have the cops do something a little bit more. Sorry guys, you got to break this up, rather than you're all under arrest. Which of these do we feel more comfortable with doing, or do we want to try? Like, what's our plan A? What's our plan B?
Mhm.
They responded quite well to us calling in the explosives last time.
True.
So, yeah, they would find that credible. Maybe they did. I mean, they did seem to think that there might be more around here somewhere. I just, we could indicate that there's one near the square where they're performing.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good plan A. How do we get the call in quickly enough that they respond to it, but not so quick that they realize that there's no bomb there before the play starts? Like it needs to be at a time where they can disrupt it really well and
Yeah.
stop it. Because if they respond quickly and then realize there's nothing there, the play could go on. We have to kind of figure out how to time it as well.
Mm.
Ironically, much like if there was an actual bomb about this. Because even if they restart us, as long as we can scatter people so no one's watching, it seems like whatever this thing is really designed for an audience. Even if we can just get a lot of people to go away, that might be enough.
So, calling it in maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes before it's set to start.
Hmm.
That way, they would have to clear the place,
All right. Yeah.
and they wouldn't be able to, perform until they had checked it out.
Here's
And
an
think of it
odd.
as an audience member. If you've heard that the play you went to see, in the area you went to see, was under a bomb threat, or the police came and broke it up, would you be willing to relocate to go see it somewhere else?
Yeah, probably not. Especially if they're connected in some way. I was just like, here's a weird question. Does anyone here know how to? This is not something in my wheelhouse, but anyone can write a pretty convincing forged letter of some kind indicating, like, that there's an exact plot to do the exact thing we're talking about. Something we could turn over to that dear
Yeah.
inspector of ours who couldn't find a clue with a flashlight and
His flashlight's exhausted.
Exactly.
So it starts at 8:00 tonight. So we have the day to
Yeah.
Yeah, right
try
now
to
it
do
is.
stuff.
Right now it is around 9 a.m. Depending on
Okay.
how you want to go on, I will try to track time a little bit more accurately this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we could turn something into him indicating they plan to, someone plans to set off a bomb during this performance. He could try and stop it officially and then, put his foot down if they keep coming around.
Well, Percy did tell him, like, you should probably stop this, right? And he's scoffed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if I don't think I didn't get the vibe, because I was there for that, right? I was.
Yeah.
Yes, you was.
I didn't get the vibe he was going to give this a priority.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
telling them, maybe the bomb threat is not good. They might just say, "Oh, it's those vigilantes trying to stop it or something."
That's why I thought
So
we brought, like,
maybe
hey,
City
we found-
Hall is a better option.
Yeah, I'll have
Why
someone upstairs pushing on him to disperse it. Yeah, he might pay more attention. That seems more political than investigatory.
Why don't we go there now and check it out, since we have the day, to kind of see what we can see, See if we can find anything that might give us a better indication of where to send cops and or people to shut it down. I don't know.
Going to do the Kleber.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we looking for there, though? Are we looking for clues or ways to sabotage the play, or somewhere
That
to
would
hide?
be great. That would be ideal. Would be something to sabotage the play, or maybe take somebody out of commission for a little while.
No chance they have a loose fire hydrant nearby.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the building, you could find stuff like that. It could be doable. Depends on the recentness of the building. Depends on a lot of things.
What? Matt and Chelsea, you guys have that give me a clue thing.
Yeah.
This might be a good time for that.
Yeah.
So, Janet or Matthias? Who do you want to go, or do you want me to go?
Doesn't matter. I can use mine.
As you wish. Ladies
All right.
first.
So, what would you like to focus your deduction on specifically? A person, a location, an event? Well, what exactly would you like to know?
What type of event would most likely cause the theater troupe to end their performance and not restart it?
From what you got from the conversation that happened with the heads of the theater troupe, they're still very much amateur and not very much organized and not yet famous and everything. They have big ambition, but not necessarily, the chops to do so. Which also means that if you cut off the head, most likely the rest will have trouble following.
Is that Solange?
If we can take out their main actors somehow.
The leaders.
Was
You did
Solange
see-
the leader?
You did see two people that seem to be very much leading the
Narcissus
troupe. Yeah, Narcisse and
and
Solange.
Solange. Okay.
There was apparently two other people that they just mentioned in passing, but they did not really name them. But except from that, most of the actors are just, passing through in the troupe.
Mhm.
But at the very least, Narcisse and Solange seem to be heads.
That is.
Sounds like
Sounds-
kidnapping's on the menu, boys.
Well, or merely getting
And
them
girls.
arrested.
Yeah.
If they're spending a night in
What's the
jail.
fun in that?
Or something as
Have you been to a
simple
French
as-
jail in the 20s?
Something as simple as food poisoning.
It's worked before.
Invite them out to a meal and
Not to the same restaurant.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not ruin their reputation further.
All right, well, let's get started. Let's go find these people.
oh wait, what's our plan? Are we
I just
Are
we
we-
should have a plan.
yeah, are we getting them sick? Are we dragging them to some undisclosed location for the evening? Or I mean, they haven't done anything I think worthy of anything more severe than that, but I'm still not above having them arrested for the night.
Mm.
I'm sure if well, I mean, how involved would we want to be in that as well? I mean, like, do we want to be the ones to press charges against them and then like, oh no, never mind, we found the money we thought they stole. Tomorrow
Oh,
we will find that money that we accused them of stealing.
to clear their name.
Well, I mean, we only need them out for the night, and then that
Yeah,
guarantees
but-
that.
If there are guys connected, he could post bail. I think it makes more sense for us to be the jailers. We know where there's some empty apartments that we can take. Not the
Also,
one with the body, but we got some.
If we're entertaining kidnapping, though, we don't want them to point the
Finger
finger
us,
at us.
yeah. Like we'd be the ones committing a crime, and they'd be the ones who could have us arrested later.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I
So
don't.
we need to have a way to make them forget.
Dead
Yeah,
men
hence-
tell no tales.
I don't know if I have not seen them perform badly enough to warrant that particular type of punishment.
I don't know if they're welcoming the king in yellow. I don't know. They might be too far gone.
I think they are just full bohemian artists trying to make a name for themselves. I don't really think they mean anybody ill or they are unhinged. I hope
I
not
would-
anyway. At least. Go ahead.
I would also like to publicly announce that the channel does not condone killing of actors because they're bad. Carry on.
Storyteller.
The channel
Yes.
doesn't.
Channel doesn't-
How easy
Matthias.
would it be to get our hands on something like chloroform or some type of drug that would be similar to? Again,
Oh.
this channel does not condone anything like this, but something similar to like a roofie.
Wait, let me look in Ezekiel's pack, you guys. I have some stuff.
I'm not saying we're gonna do bad things to them, but I'm saying to knock them out so they don't remember faces.
Well, I assume that wasn't even discussed yet. That's not something you spring on the rest of the group when we kidnap people, I hope.
If there is nothing potent enough in Ezekiel's bag, for you, Janet, getting at the very least chloroform is fairly easy. I mean, this is your trade.
Oh, yeah,
This is something you could
you're a
get
nurse.
your hands on.
Mhm.
Getting something a little bit more akin to a roofie would require a little bit more investigation.
Okay.
But chloroform, at the very least, is doable.
Okay.
Ooh, I didn't think about
Yeah,
that. That's a
I
good
don't
point, Janet. If we
think-
knocked them out and stuffed them someplace and they woke up none the wiser, that keeps everyone's hands clean and does what we need. We don't
What
have
was
to
that,
worry about
Bridget?
our involvement. Oh. Go ahead, Bridget.
No, it's just I'm looking over the tonics and it doesn't look like there's anything something to perk you up, but nothing to put you to sleep.
I mean, there could be an after treatment,
Oh, sweet speakeasy sleep syrup. Yeah, would Bridget know if that shit actually works?
Have you tried it?
I don't know.
I don't think you did.
No.
Mm.
You only recently acquired the pouch, so I would
Yeah.
say that at the moment you're discovering them at the same time as we do. But you're welcome to try.
A
know what, there's
spoonful of syrup calms the nerves and
So does
move,
laudanum.
move them freely and effortlessly into sleep.
I mean, dear, this is the 20s. I'm pretty sure we can find a nice hysteria tonic over the counter that would definitely make them very mellow.
Is laudanum still around in the 20s?
What was
yeah.
that?
Laudanum.
Oh yes,
Laudanum, yes.
very much so.
Kidding, this is prime time.
I think I'd prefer to try medical science over the potions of a madman.
I'm also for that.
But
Yeah.
Also, we have a somebody skilled in the medicinal arts here. It'd be a shame, not to use her skills to make sure that they go to sleep for the time we want them to go to sleep and wake up none the wiser. Ezekiel's not here. I don't know if he knows how to. I don't think we want to try using his particular tonics without his skill to do that. Where Janet is right here, and I trust her skills immensely.
I'm not a fan of mystery bottles.
I'm being diplomatic.
I'm not.
So how do you propose we do this? Because at the moment, chloroform and drugging seems pretty far-fetched until the point that we have to propose we just walk up and
No.
we're going to have
Yeah.
to lure these people in somehow. You know, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
No, right. No, you've talked to them already. Suppose you have a change of heart and think about maybe doing something entirely new. Like you've just like talked to some writers and you're thinking of a new play after they perform their little act. And if they'd be open to, I mean, you just have to get them someplace where they might have a little extra something in their drink, and then
Well,
when
then they
woozy
wake
enough-
up, they'll remember Percy, and that implicates him. And I thought we were trying to avoid that.
Yeah, but they last thing they remember they were drinking with Percy, and then they don't
Yeah.
remember anything else.
That
People
doesn't look good for
drink-
Percy.
This is
Yes, you should all stop saying Percy, because I actually don't really want any part of this.
all right.
I think this is
That's fair.
this is a foiled plan, and it's going to not end well. So
Again, okay, they have not met either myself or Odile. But if we approach them and ask them about the theater and invite, say we're fans of the arts ourselves and invite them to a meal that happens to have a little extra something in it, we won't obviously give our real names. And I am not, I don't think I move in the same circles they did, that they would be able to recognize me or run into me anytime soon.
Mhm.
And if they say, random German person and well-to-do lady gave them a meal and they've passed out and don't remember anything, I don't know if that's a jailable offense.
And if they wake
I
up
mean-
in a room with alcohol bottles strewn about, it simply looks like they had too much.
And we have that lovely study that Ambrosius left behind, with all that empty alcohol cabinet. I'm sure we could just put them in that room and let them be found there later. And I mean, that doesn't connect to any of us, and I don't plan on going back there anytime soon. But Herbert,
there was
do you have a better
build-
idea?
I doubt we would get to inebriated performers past the building manager.
Fair enough.
We don't have free access to that apartment.
Yeah, that's the downside.
All right.
Huh.
I'm open to ideas. This is just me spitballing.
Okay with being fingered. We can pull up in my car and I meant implicated,
I do know.
You do know who you're
Good
having the
word.
party, right?
I know. I realized it after I said it. Anyways.
I tried
could
so
try and-
hard to.
I know.
Yeah. Kit broke instantly, and I just
Oh, yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
stop.
She's a resident 5-year-old.
I hope that's not a 5-year-old
No.
line of thought.
Anyway.
That's more middle school.
Proceed.
More middle school.
I can pull up in our car or my car, try and pull the, rich lady wanting to, patron the arts, and have a conversation with them. Have them get in my car and have a conversation, and I'd have them back. Tell them I'd have them back, but then not have them back, and go ahead.
Sorry, Percy. What if
Yes.
Percy's right? What if we're thinking about this too hard? What if Janet mentioned chloroform. What if we just got them near someplace and chloroform them? That does kind of mess with your memory a bit. You might not even distinctly remember the event, or at least not reliably enough to happen. A couple of us call them over for some reason on the street. The rest are waiting. I'm really confident Bridget can get at least one of those guys down and chloroformed pretty quickly. If
Mhm.
somebody else gets the other, that puts them out. That puts them unconscious. Shuffle them off to in a vehicle, take them wherever it is we've decided we're going to take them. Let them. Janet, do you think you could dose them so that they would sleep well past the performance?
Of course.
How does everyone feel about this plan? Find holes. Find ways we need to fix. No, seriously. I this is just me coming up with it right now. We have a bunch of different people with a bunch of different ideas. Help me fine tune this. What's wrong with that?
Snatching
Where am
grab
I-
is good. Where are we storing them in the meantime? That's all.
There we. Oh, hopefully not the same place we stored the other guy.
Yeah, we'd have to make sure that we have the car like near, like
Wha-
you want to lure them into like not quite an alley, but probably so where people aren't watching as well, but
Yeah.
close enough to a street where we can pull up, so that we can guide them into a car and take them elsewhere after they've been chloroformed.
Yeah. But where do we take them? Do we want to stick them in one of the random construction sites? Do we want to stick them in? I don't know. Where do we have access to buildings that aren't directly traceable to us?
Mm. Oh well,
Or do we want to just take them to some random alley across town and drop them off there and hope that nobody wakes them up? Well, I mean, if they're properly, what's the word, Janet? Anesthetized?
Anesthetized.
I think if we're stashing them out in public, the concern would be someone alerting authorities or
Yeah.
taking them to a
Yeah.
doctor at that point.
That'll still take time.
Could we check them into the loony bin?
I was just thinking the loony bin. That's funny.
Oh. Now that's an angle I hadn't thought of.
That's a drive. I mean,
Yeah,
We
but
have
it
to
would
do
still
what we-
take them out.
they'd have to do it earlier though, so we could get them out of there, and then make sure we note that. Make sure to prevent anyone else from trying to, take over. I mean, they. Still, that would get them out of there. Do you think we could get them in? And do you think we could get them in time?
I think
mean-
Janet would be able to.
Yeah, for 24-hour watch or something like that. They've been ranting like Ezekiel, we could say.
Yeah, they just fell into hysterics and became, started babbling. We had to.
They may do
Mhm.
a hold, but once they are awake, could work perhaps, yes.
But at least they'd be far away.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But the thing is,
it links back to us though. That does
we
tend
would
to-
have to fill out forms
Yeah.
Mhm.
to put them in.
As a note, Janet, you have had experience, filling forms with information that were not exactly straightforward.
Okay.
This is something that happens. Usually, people tend to overlook if they have some compensations,
Oh,
depending
We
on the amount of
could.
compensation, of course.
if we're willing to donate a little, perhaps we could lie,
Mm.
mislead on some forms.
I still say we just take them to that place where those guys were trying to ambush us. Just drop them there in the construction site. Doesn't seem like there was a lot of traffic. By the time they wake up the next day, it'd be too late.
No, number 26.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we put them in the hole or nothing. I'm just. There's a lot of places around there where you could hide, and if you just put a couple unconscious people there, no one's gonna check on them probably till the morning. It'll be over. And then again, doesn't connect to any of us. They'll be all groggy and chloroformed. By the time they wake up and remember things, they won't even be sure who grabbed them.
I don't know. I like the idea of the asylum better, but
I dislike paperwork immensely.
I think that initially I thought somewhere along the road, like number 26, but
Mhm.
it's so close to where they were going to perform.
Yeah.
That I imagine that there's lots of people
You-
milling about, and
You do realize
Perform.
chloroform is anesthesia. It's not a sleeping pill you wake up from. They'll be out whether they want to be or not, unless somebody figures out how to rouse them. They take chemicals to do that. You can't just give them a couple.
How
I've seen
long
a few
does
people-
chloroform last? How long
Depends
does
on
it
the
keep them
dosage.
out?
Depends if it comes with a bullet in the brain.
Well,
not
it
now.
has. Oh, what about ether? That is still used in surgery. That would put them out for sure. But yeah, it's used
But
to put
isn't
people out
that-
for surgery.
A continuous, I thought chloroform was just like, you see
Yeah.
in the movies, this is out of character. It's like a temporary thing. It's not like 8 hours of sleep.
It is given during surgeries at this time. Sorry, I'm going history knowledge guy.
But you have like a mask where you're getting
So the thing with
Nope, I
chloroform
mean-
is that it knocks you out once it is applied. You
Mhm.
stay out as long as it's applied.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
what I
could
say, has to
potentially
be-
go-
Re- But you have to reapply it. You don't continuously,
Yes.
or you'll kill a guy.
Mhm.
Yes.
But it'll last a few hours if we keep. Like I said, we could put him out, keep him on that for a while, and right before performance, give him another dose, and then wander off.
If we were to soak like a scarf in it and tie it around there.
I mean, you have to be careful of the dosage if you don't want them. I mean, Janet would know this. I don't presume
Yeah.
to tell Janet her craft, but yes, you don't want to give it too high a dose, or they will. Well, we won't need a bullet, Percy. We just need to leave them with that on, and they won't be going anywhere ever again.
The channel does not condone waterboarding either. Just PSA.
I mean, I've only seen that done with people who weren't going to get out of the infirmary bed ever. So I don't know if they're quite that bad yet.
I mean, we were discussing chloroform and laudanum. Chloroform them first, get them
Ooh,
to where you want
yes.
to be, and then a dose of laudanum.
They would sleep like kings.
Well rested. They just
Yeah.
unfortunately missed their theater debut.
They'd be and their memories would be a little groggy as well. Yes, if we can get the dosage, get what we need. I don't mind this plan. Again, how do people feel about this? If we can keep them out and medicate them enough where they aren't inclined to wake up for a few hours.
Yeah, that would be good.
And we're still left with where are we putting them?
I still say I mean
We're
I'm not-
still left with the start of the plan, which is how we get them medicated.
We
It
just
all-
lure them.
This is all still very far fetched as
No,
far as I'm
yeah,
concerned.
we're putting it together. Like I said, we put the pieces.
It's
You
like a
know,
maze. You
lure
start.
them.
You start with the end.
and work your way back.
I thought
Percy,
Odile
do you-
was gonna play Rich Patron and invite them out, get them away from the troop.
Shoot, I maybe even go simpler if they're wandering about by themselves. Just call them over for some reason to the car, and when they get there, we just some of us just do what we need to do to make sure they have a nice sleepy car ride.
Yeah, that could work too.
Let's just say we pick them off, wait for them to venture out on their own. Unless someone
You
has
don't think-
I mean, well, go ahead.
No, you're right. I don't think they'd be together. Like we wouldn't be lucky enough to see them together. But we can pick them off one by one, just those two.
Yeah. We got the day, we grab one, grab the other. Again, find a place to store them. I don't care which construction site, one of the lesser attended ones would be preferable.
We want to
And
get them
then,
further away then. We don't want them that's right down the street from where they're performing. So we want to get them further away.
If they're in a medically induced coma, I don't know how well they'll perform. But also, if you can think of a place that's further away that we have access to that they won't be discovered, I am willing to listen because that distance is not a bad idea either. I just don't want this connected to us. I don't want paperwork that we have to sign, people seeing us doing things,
Yeah,
them
but
having a long conversation with us and remembering who we are, or some personal affectation that would identify us. I like plugging along. Right?
between Janet's ability to, get them into the asylum and my ability or Percy's ability to like supply the asylum with money or the workers, I don't think that there would be necessarily a paper trail to us if we
The
sent them
witnesses,
there.
a lot of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if it's just them trying to point a finger when they already admitted they were drugged and don't have a clear memory of things, I don't know how well that will hold up. Nurses, doctors, file clerks, all pointing us out that we were there. I mean, Percy's plan with the bullet sounds a little better, and for the long-term freedom of the group. That's not my first inclination, but it's,
I mean, we
I
could be as simple as sticking them under a bridge somewhere.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah.
sleep
Oh, yeah.
alone.
Yeah. Let them sleep it off under a bridge across town. I like that plan. Throw
I
a
would
blanket over them.
suggest we split them up, though.
Why not? It's harder for them to find their way back together.
I would
There's
also
plenty of,
mention, on that front, I would mention that not too far from where you met with them in the Esplanade and the sort of university neighborhood, there is indeed like quite a lot of bridges, as the river, the Ville, is going straight through it. So bridges are easy to find, not too far from that location, if this is where you're going with.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that
that's a
plan
good
better.
idea.
What were you about to say, Percy?
Out of character, when Percy went and met with them at their rehearsal space,
Yes.
that was an actual like place, right?
There was
Was
like
that
a
at the
sort of,
university?
yeah, it was at the university in like a small office that they most likely rented.
Okay.
But it was very small.
Very small, as in like they were conducting. Like,
As-
it's just an office, or is it a place where they could all sit around and?
As in mostly an
Plan.
office, what you saw from there is that mostly this is where they store the flyers, the posters, the necessary theater equipment and stuff like that. So this seemed to be more like a storage space / office than a living quarter or rehearsal space.
Right. I wonder what would constitute an alarming enough event that we could send the police to the rehearsals or to their offices to shut them down. Removing our faces from being seen.
It's too bad we didn't don't know where any of those explosives still are. If we could plant a few in there and then call the cops and make an anonymous tip. All they need is a few.
Well, we know the arts and illegal substances go hand in hand, but I do not know if that would warrant an immediate response from the police. It might go lower on their list, but something to that effect might, if they were taken in for questioning by the police on something.
What about I was going to say, like, there's I don't know what you're thinking contraband-wise. There's not a whole lot that's, in that respect, that's super illegal at this point in time. It's minor stuff. But what about something people are a little more wary of? What if they have certain types of literature that is very anti-government in like a more violent revolutionary sort of way? Maybe they are into some kind of activism that is not 100% legal. That is something that is very much of a concern of the police as of late.
Well, I think that is completely plausible based on what we're dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to overthrow the government and form a new, I don't know, socialist or communist regime in the city, I imagine the cops might come down on them just for that alone. Doesn't need a whole lot more than that sometimes.
I wonder if the police would be interested in the people who injured and violently kidnapped dear Chris.
Ooh. Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
finger the actors as the
This
as
channel
the,
does condone fingering, though. Just
the we could point the finger at them as the people who hurt Chris, and potentially the police would, take them in for questioning. Just a thought.
Name those two specifically, yes.
Mhm.
Or,
Oh, yeah. Or whoever you can name. Yeah. Yes,
Just a thought.
why not? That is a good thought. That keeps everything very clean.
We could meet with our detective friend and say that as part of our ongoing investigations, because the police attended that event and they took dear Chris away, so
Yeah.
they will have an open file on this, and it might be a way to get back in the good graces of the police if it seems we're helping with their investigation rather than hindering it.
Exactly. And then, I mean, if we implicate them, they were seeing it. We saw them. We don't necessarily say exactly what happened, but they definitely know something. They, of course, will deny everything, and the cops will have to sit on them a bit to hope that they decide to change their minds by sitting in a interrogation room for several hours, just to kind of make them sweat a bit. Not that I know what that's like.
Yeah,
I've been treated very well here.
that could work. I hope.
I like this plan, Percy.
It
I think
seems
this should be
less
our plan
risky
A.
than flashing our faces around trying to drug
I
and
agree.
kidnap people.
I agree. Not that that's not a good plan B if they somehow manage to find good lawyers or police friends are a little less efficient than we'd like. But I think this is a good plan A.
It also paints us to be the good guys,
Exactly. I like
which we
this.
most
I like,
certainly are.
Yeah, I like that this is all bonuses to us.
We're the goodies.
You saw, Odile, you saw what was in that base, or you didn't see, but you know what was in that basement. You know what this person's plans are, and
Yeah.
what we're stopping this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
know.
not saying we're avatars of morality, but we are. It's in the best interest of the city and or everyone here.
Agreed.
I mean,
All right.
you saw what they've done to some people. They've hurt and killed people for nothing, for their weird, whatever they're trying to do.
Oh,
Nobody
what they're
deserved what
trying
they
to
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. And you seem to not like whatever it is you think they are trying to do.
Everybody will suffer if they accomplish what they're trying to do. Everybody will suffer. Everybody will die, and
Therefore, we're the good guys by default.
okay. Yeah,
The
you're right.
sliding scale.
And
Yeah.
look, what are we doing? We're keeping our names clean. We're helping the police in their investigations and getting good reputation. We are merely inconveniencing these poor fools on what will probably be a very mediocre play. God, I hope that's all it would be. At best, at worst, we are stopping them from committing one of the worst mistakes of their lives. I don't see a downside.
Let's do it.
But I do like if this does not pan out, I do like the snatch and grab idea. Just as a backup, we have a lot of that.
Some chloroform, on hold, just in case.
Yeah. I definitely think we should have a backup. I don't want this to be put to the chance. I agree with Percy. The police have been not as efficient in this situation. Hopefully we can light a fire under them and get that going. But let's have a good backup ready. Anyway.
All right.
Are we agreed then?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is also
Yes.
my mention is Maurice can be a bit clumsy, and people are always stepping out in front of cars.
That is true.
Again, if for some reason they don't like, if for some reason these actors don't like Plan B, I think that they deserve a Plan C, and I think Maurice's driving skills could be called into question later today if we need to. Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe not in your car. I mean, I'm sure we could procure another vehicle somewhere from somebody.
Oh, it's
that,
all right. I have insurance.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Never mind then.
This channel does condone vehicular manslaughter.
It's fine. In Canada, you get a slap on the wrist for that.
Wait.
But not before 80 years after that story, so all is good. Okay, so where are you off to? It is roughly around 10:30 right now. What are you doing?
Literally discussed that for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Janet will have to
Plan
go
one.
pick up supplies for Plan B just in case, I'm sure.
Okay.
Janet's picking up some Plan B. Good.
So, where would you pick those supplies up? Would you go through a legit road? Or through, back
No.
doors?
I was gonna say something, but it's gonna make Kit giggle. She prefers
knew-
back door.
Do you need help with this?
With
Or
the
are
back
you-
door? No, she's fine. She's got it.
All right.
I'm sure
I like you guys.
everything I say is not gonna go well.
I'm just waiting for Kit to pass out from not being able to breathe.
This whole episode is gonna need so many content warnings.
Yeah, right.
Bring 100%.
That's what Lionel's doing right now. He's just figuring out all the applicable ones to add.
I am
It's gonna be
writing
so
down content
clippable,
warning.
though.
Oh yes, very much so.
Content
This
warning
is supposed to be a
tips in
serious
this
campaign,
episode.
guys.
Just check
All right.
all. This is.
Hit
So,
level warning.
so team back channels. Let's say it like that.
I like that.
Your one contact that really specialized in everything chemicals, really, is Antonio. Nice guy coming from Italy, completely lost. He has nobody and nothing here, but he has a very thriving business when it comes to, weird chemicals. And he's very easily accessible for you. You know exactly where to find him, and yeah, he's currently home. Oh, well, Janet, isn't that a sight for sore eyes?
Been a while, my dear.
What do you need, honey?
I need some people to not wake up for a while. Do you have any chloroform and laudanum on hand, darling?
Oh, only the easy stuff? I thought you were going with something a little spicier, like last time.
The people I'm running with currently are kind of
Ah.
getting two shoes, so we're
Uptight,
keeping
yes.
it light. Yeah.
I know the kind. Wait for a second. I will get you the good stuff. He goes to a back room and comes back with a few vials, specifically unlabeled, but the shape themselves are enough for you to know which one is what. Now, I don't need to give you the usual warning about, how you should not use that against human beings against their will, right?
Of course not.
Of course
Would
you
never.
wouldn't. Would never.
Never.
And he gets out this sort of prescription pad. To whom should I do the prescription to this time?
Oh, the prescription should go to. What? She's gonna put Ambrosius' name down.
Ambrosius Dittelmeyer. Okay, I do not know that person, but that is good to know. He just forges a random signature, gives you the paper. I would need a wealth check from you, please.
Oh, this is
Oh no.
my one. That's not great.
Right.
Oh.
Your
Oh.
very last pennies goes into that purchase.
Yep. That is exhausted.
But you do have the vials with you, ready to use and in sufficient quantities.
Excellent. We will go into her purse.
All right. Well, you be careful. You have a good day.
You as well. Pleasure doing business with you.
And with you. He just winks and accompanies you out. While you were doing those purchases, what are the rest of you doing?
Percy would like to go and meet with the superintendent, whose name I've forgotten, but Percy would definitely recall.
Levy. Mr. Levy. Okay, no problem. Would you go by yourself, or would somebody accompany you?
Oh, that depends on what the group want to do. Probably less is more.
Yeah.
But he met Matthias last time, so
Yeah.
Even though
So-
Matthias definitely didn't come across as shady as hell.
Okay.
I think I was just being very accommodating.
Sounds good. Okay.
He would Percy would call first to ask for a meeting and stress that it was something that needed to be talked about in person rather than over the phone.
Okay. His secretary tells you that you could get a meeting for 12:30 today.
That would be grand.
Okay, appointment is set. Janet would probably have had time to finish her purchases before the meeting happens, so in case you have something else you would like to do before, you're welcome to do so, or else we will switch to the interview.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Bridget and Odie, part of the plan was to do a bit of recon with where the performance was to take place.
Yeah.
Did you ladies want to take a stroll while we go see
Yep.
Might as well
Okay.
completely split the party.
Yeah.
Might as
Yeah.
well. I mean, why the hell not? So,
Roll initiative.
pretty much. Watching the square itself and the adjacent streets, you do notice, first of all, a lot of actors just walking about. They do not match a face that you have already seen so far, but just the overall outfit that they had that really matches the poster that has been given for the event. And the fact that they are handing out some posters about the representation this evening, you get the feeling that they are there and active. They're all, come see the play, it's going to be wonderful. Come see it, it's new art that is unseen before. And they go and give posters here and there and fro and everywhere. Nothing else really seems to catch your eye at like a immediate glance. It's just a bustling day. Most of the people are actually not working on that day. It is Sunday after all. So they are enjoying a pretty beautiful day. No cloud in the sky. Pretty good weather for this time of year. They're just enjoying their day.
And how far away is the little office that is sort of their base from the
From
performance
where you
spot?
are, by foot or by car?
By foot.
By foot, roughly 45 minutes to an hour away.
Oh, okay.
Not that, if you take your time, really.
Where did we run into them when Percy rolled down the window and he said, "Well, I'm going to walk," and Percy's like, "Well, I'm going to drive." You know what I mean? Like it seemed like a very short. He beat us there by walking.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was near the neighborhood of the Esplanade. Let me actually show you on the map if you want. So Place Kléber, the place where basically you stop before going to them was around here. I don't know if you see the pink ping.
I don't see a ping.
Yeah.
It's on the lower right of the map near the word Esplanade, the big citadel.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, you dropped him here, and everything that you had was somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
So overall, from Place Kléber, it's not that much of a distance. It's just that there are so many streets left and right and everything, and a lot of people walking by that walking from there to there takes a bit of time.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe one of us should be at Place Kléber, and maybe one of us should be at the Esplanade, just to really split up the party.
To be looking for things, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See if there anything unusual happens, and also to spot Narcisse and Solange if we need to
Know where they are.
act on that. Yeah.
Okay. So, the person who stays at Place Kléber, do you want to really comb the place and check everything out? If so, this will require a flashlight roll.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do
Just
that, or
saying.
do you want to do the other one?
I'll do this one.
Okay.
You do this one? Okay.
Um,
So, you are looking around Place Kléber a lot, and most of the actors do not get that good of a reception by the other people. Most of the people just go about their day and consider them merely higher than like a regular hobo. They just pass by and don't give that much of a damn. Some of them do take the poster though. You people are intrigued. You can hear here and there verses of the book you have read. It really
no.
like strikes you as ouch, too real. But you do recognize without a shadow of a doubt that what they plan on performing is definitely The King in Yellow and the one that you have read so far. You do not see many movement except from that. It's just people going about their business and people doing their things. That is pretty much it. So roll me your flashlight, please. All right, all is good. Yeah. Going towards the university. What are you looking for exactly? What are you doing?
I'm looking for Narcisse and Solange, specifically, and then just anything that's any odd behavior. It looks like anybody's doing anything sketchy.
Okay. It is very easy to find them. They are actually very close to where you actually saw them the first time. They are currently extremely busy. They are preparing more and more posters, getting them out of some, big packages and just making everything ready. You can see that they are not alone right now. They have a small group of what appears to be actors. They're already in costume, in their like white outfits. They're giving out some quick orders and instructions, and you should go there, and you should don't forget to emphasize on that kind of sentence and everything. And you can see that except from the group, there's like those two who stand out and another couple of actors that really sort of stand out and give more directions on how to interpret specific sentences.
Okay.
One of them is a young woman with very, very short hair and sort of an attitude. She seems very hyper everything. The other one is sort of a chubby guy, small, like very like short. Just, he seems to be more of the architect of everything, making sure that everybody is square and on the right spot and everything. So they all seem to have their own very specific roles in the organization of that play. But except from that, no real weird behavior as much as, actors can go.
Is there a place where the costumes are?
The costumes? Yeah. Well, at the moment they all are in costumes, so you don't really see a place where they would have
and they're just wearing white. She's
Yes.
trying to look to see if she could blend in if she needed to as an actor.
Okay.
Just wearing white.
Just wearing white is not all of it. When you look at the outfit, it's more like plain white shirt but not buttoned down. It seems to be like the plainest outfit you can imagine. The pants themselves are tied with a sort of like a rope, like a very old-fashioned and very nondescript. So finding clothes in that sort of sense could be doable. The main issue you might encounter there would be to fit in. You are at the very least 2 heads taller than all of them. Well, no, at the very least wider. Sorry, wider. more muscular than all of them. Most of them seem
Like,
to
she's
be.
not that tall.
No, she's not that tall, but she's
just burly.
muscular. Yeah, and all of them look like a sneeze would make them topple over.
Okay. They're dainty. Got it.
So you can try, but I mean, up to you if you can pass for a student goodly enough.
Goodly? Probably not.
Okay. For your observation session, I would like a flashlight roll, please. Cool. All is good.
Ooh.
You kept an eye on them. Which would probably leave us to the interview with Charles Levy. Arriving there, the secretary is indicating, okay, you can go to that office. He's expecting you. Have a very good day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Going there, you can see Levy behind his desk writing some stuff, and once you come in, he just looks up at you and says, "Oh, did not match the names to the faces." Yes?
Prior to this, Percy would have forged a document using his crafty skill,
Oh, okay.
which was very well written and alluded to. It was like a telegram transmitting between the guy with the scar on his face.
Birthmark?
Scar on his face? The birthmark?
The
Roderick?
birthmark, sorry. Yeah, the birthmark.
Roderick, yes.
Between him and Solange,
Solange?
Mhm.
and
Narcissus.
what is it? Narcissus?
Narcissus.
Mhm.
About the conspiracy to there was something about meeting at the wherever they dumped Chris, and it was talking about this guy needs to be removed from the street, something to that effect, implicating
Okay.
that plan to kidnap Chris for whatever reason.
Okay. Sounds good.
Literally just thought of that side. I haven't planned it out, but
I mean,
he does have the crafty skill where he can improvise a solution.
We keep it vague too. Vague is better.
Yeah.
Something to
absolutely.
Yeah.
deal with this Chris person who's seen too much.
Plus, enough like a communication like that would probably try to be inconspicuous, just in case it would be, found.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
But
So
it's definitely signed with the names
Oh yes.
of them, and addressed to the guy with the birthmark.
Mm-hmm. Roderick Umwit. All right. He invites you to sit. So, what's new?
Good day, Superintendent. As part of our ongoing investigations, we do believe we have uncovered the persons responsible for the, shall we say, kidnapping at whatever address that was at.
You don't say. He just straightens it up for a bit. Do tell.
Well, it's kind of funny, really, how we stumbled across this, and then he'll present the telegram.
Mm-hmm.
And we noticed this telegram. We acquired it. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. And he kind of winks. But we decided to verify, the communication, and we've actually found these people, and I do believe that they are part of the wider conspiracy with the things that go bang, and very much tied into this, and they are planning some other form of event this afternoon or this evening. And I thought you'd be interested if you needed to close the case on the kidnapping. These people could be brought in and questioned, and I think you'd find that it wraps up that part of your case very nicely.
I'm going to be very frank with you. The whole part about your homeless friend was not necessarily on the top of my work pile, but this is interesting. This ties up with the man that we have found at the location, which is odd indeed. He looks.
I would not like to speculate too much further, but I understand things might have gone wrong with the kidnapping, and these two people mentioned in this telegram might have, might have ended our friend with the body you found. Perhaps it's very.
What do you
careful
know
not to
about
say
those
the
two
name of the
people?
person. Well, they're posing as actors, and they have some form of troupe. Surely you've seen the posters around about La.
Those? They are nobodies. Why would they be tied to this?
Well,
I don't know.
That's the thing. I think they've very cleverly disguised themselves as nobodies and duped a bunch of oysters into following them. I mean, I'm only a amateur detective, if you could call me that. But
I can't.
if it barks like a dog, you understand.
Yes.
And of course, I would never waste police time on a hunch. This all seems to line up, and I think these people being removed from the street and questioned would not only solve one of your cases, and we know how you cops enjoy your conversion rates, but also could prevent something larger, particularly around the explosives you found. Seems too much of a coincidence to ignore.
He's pondering the information for quite a while and rereading everything. You can see, like, for the better part of 2 or 3 minutes, he's not saying a word. He's just reading the document, reading some other documents that he found, some other things that are his investigation came up. I hate to say it, but he might be onto something. At the very least, it doesn't hurt to question them. Do you have any idea where we can find those?
Absolutely. And
I expected this much.
We currently one of my colleagues is in the area doing some reconnaissance.
I'm sure.
But other than that, we are very much taking a step back approach.
Yes, because nothing says step back like reconnaissance. I understand. Would you be able to identify them, just to make sure that there is no mistake during the apprehension?
Most certainly. Well, I mean, yes, I would, but also, if you find them at this place, they are naive enough, I think, that they would be compliant.
Okay.
I don't believe they are the upper echelon of the organization, but they're definitely involved.
Well, we're just asking some questions, so nothing too bad to worry about at the moment. He gets up and takes his jacket.
You could, at very least, bring them in on suspicion of manslaughter and murder.
I mean, the evidence that we have right now is very slim, at the least. But it doesn't hurt to have a talk. Let's try. Come with me, please. He steps out of his office and goes towards the main office, where you can see a large number of gendarmes just going about their day. François Pithiviers, come here, please. You can see 2 cops approaching. Come with me, we might have a few people to interrogate. They lead you to 2 police cars. Not as modern as you could hope. Definitely not as good as your car, but serviceable. They put you and Matt in a separate car with one of the cops, the one called Pithiviers. The superintendent goes to the other car, and you are starting to drive towards the Esplanade neighborhood, near the universities. Using a few... Yes?
Would Percy have had time to sort of give Maurice a nod to follow?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Would the cops have ejected if we took our own car?
He would have he would definitely want you to come with them in their car at the moment. But a nod to Maurice, easy enough to do. You've been working with him long enough to be used to that. So not a real problem.
Cool.
You start to drive, and in the very early afternoon reach the university neighborhood, where you can see, because you know what to look for, you can definitely see Bridget nearby. She's keeping an eye on whatever is happening there. A quick, the arrival of 2 police cars does not come completely unnoticed, Bridget, so you would also notice something is up.
Mm-hmm.
They stop on the side of the sidewalk, and just like one car behind the other, and Levi just comes out of his car and comes to your window and says, "Okay, what I want you to do right now is point me towards the right people. I'm going to just go and have a talk right now, try to not be noticed. I just need you to come as close as you can to just point at them. That's all I ask from you right now."
Can we see them from where we are?
No, you
Or
need to walk a little bit closer.
Can I see the office?
The office, yes, you can see. Yes, you can see it, yes.
You'll most likely find them in that office.
Okay. He steps a little bit closer, asking his co-workers to come with him. There's a lot of people here. Which ones are we talking about? If you get a little bit closer, you can see the troop and everybody. And you can very distinctly see Narcisse and Solange.
Percy's gonna finger them.
All right.
And then
Okay.
he's gonna be like, I cannot be seen here, I'm sure you understand.
Oh, I did not want you to be seen here. Please go back to the car. We will take them for questioning. As you go back to the car and await anything that is happening, Bridget. Yes.
Yeah, seeing this happen, she's just gonna walk past the detective and point out the lady with the short hair and the attitude and the chubby guy and just say, "Those two, I think, are in on it as well," and just keep walking.
Who the fuck are you? Like, who was that? And
One of these to first say.
That's Bridget. She's from City Hall.
right. Okay. Let's see. What kind of talk you can do.
Reconnaissance, dear boy. Reconnaissance.
Right. Step back and everything. Good. Good.
And with that, I shall step back. Thank you very much.
For you, quite a while passes without anything happening. You are in the car, awaiting any event, but nothing happens for a bit. You, Bridget, on the side of the walk, on the sidewalk, you can still have a little bit of an eye on everything that is happening. Mostly an ear, because you can see that they are arguing a lot. Stuff like, "You can't do that. It's the day of the show, y'all. We really need to do that today. You cannot. We have so much to prepare right now. This is not a question. This is not a request. You come with us." And it goes back and forth like that for quite a while. Before eventually they are taken in. After managing to give some last-minute instructions to the remaining other people. Just giving a quick glance, you can see that not all of the instructions may have been understood or have been very clear, but at the very least, instructions were left. They are now... Yes?
Did they take the 2 or did they take all 4?
They took the 4. They are extremely unhappy. You can see as they are walking, like sided with the Levy and the other cop, they are fuming with anger. They are absolutely like throwing a scene about how much the police is limiting their creativity and that they are an enemy of the art, and that's absolutely unacceptable. And to whomever wants to listen in the street, they are yelling, "Do you see what's happening? Take a good eye. This is how theater dies." And they are just, being overly dramatic.
Yes.
But I
Take
mean,
that, you
people are really
goddamn hippies.
nevertheless, they are being taken in, and the car drives away. Sans Levy, who actually comes back to your car, says, "Okay, I will take care of this. I will have a talk with them, and hopefully some good information is going to come out of this. Please, at the moment, stay under the, stay out of trouble, if you don't mind. If you can step back a little bit more. At the moment, we cannot afford any problem."
Absolutely, we are just so pleased we could bring justice for dear Chris.
Well, we will see about that, because I'm not completely convinced that they are in on it. I have been doing this a long time, and I have a nose for people who are guilty. They do not seem to be, but sometimes people can be wrong, and I'm willing to give it a shadow of a doubt. Again, it's only talking and asking a few questions. So, now if you don't mind, I have some people to talk to. Would you mind leaving the car so I can get on to my business? Have a great day. He lets out a huge sigh, as in, "This is not what I wanted to do with my Sunday" kind of sigh. But right now, it is roughly 2:30. You are out on the sidewalk, and the leaders of the troupe La Libération are being taken away for however long that lasts.
But he's gonna dust his hands and look at Matthias. That went well.
Oh. Well, I'm glad my less is more paid off.
I would require, however, a smoke roll from Percy and Matthias. If you
I
don't
thought
mind.
you'd never ask.
Oh,
I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
perfect. Percy is in his wheelhouse. So is Matthias. Okay,
All right.
stuff went well. Would you have decided on a place and/or time to reconvene with the rest of your party?
Absolutely, we
Yeah, we
Mhm.
totally thought of that ahead of time.
For a lunch at our favorite restaurant, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Well, lunch is past you, so maybe
Yeah.
dinner.
Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe
Supper,
dinner, yeah.
supper.
Supper.
Yeah.
like almost to the second that Levy drives off, Maurice is there, and we'll spin around and get Bridget, and
Mhm.
then go to wherever we're going.
Yeah.
When he makes you come in, like when he opens the door for you, everything's okay, sir?
Absolutely, Maurice. Everything's just dandy. Thank
Wonderful.
you for following so attentively.
This is my job. This is what you pay me for. He
You all
closes the
meet
door
up.
gently behind you. Yeah. Where do you meet up?
I was at the restaurant and Odie's got a drink. She's like,
Oh no.
It's okay. All right, tell me you were successful. Tell me you were successful.
Everything
were
is
successful.
quite in hand.
Everything's
Okay.
okay. Everything's okay.
The restaurant
Okay.
is not opening his kitchen yet. It is only roughly 3:30, 4 o'clock. But drinks can definitely be taken.
Yeah. Just see, just keep
You
them
know,
coming.
I had another idea. If we need for future to incriminate somebody, nobody knows about the person we left in the house, right? And if we could plant the needle, the hypodermic, on somebody and then call in an anonymous tip about Janet's little
You left that
friend.
there.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just for something if we...
Franz?
Yeah. Franz?
Franz? Hans? What is it?
Some German dude.
Some
Just
poor worker.
It was just an idea that came to me, you know,
It's a very good thought, Bridget, and not that I would easily want to part with it, but I am also carrying the murder weapon, which we could.
Yeah, right. I started out thinking about if we're implicating them in what happened to Chris, we have some firearms that could be tied to that. I didn't know if you'd want to part with it, but I thought the hypodermic would be easier to part with.
Let's just say if the situation was dire enough.
Yeah.
Just
throwing out potential solutions to future potential problems.
Very good thoughts. Very good thoughts. And that was all said very, very hushedly.
Oh yeah.
I assumed so.
Sitting in a restaurant.
Just talking about moida.
Okay. Is there some other things you would like to do? You still have like a few hours of daylight, so up to you if you want to do something else.
I think the other person with deduction should use that because I'm fresh out of ideas.
Well, we
I was
kind of
gonna-
need to make sure that they don't get
Yeah.
released right away, right?
Oh yeah, we need to make sure if they're released right away that we do something about that. We also should probably check to see if this is enough. I mean, it seems like they left instructions. Those I don't know if it'll go off as easily, but it still may go off with whatever. I mean, there is. So perhaps we might check to make sure that they don't get too organized in the absence of the leaders on their own.
Yeah.
Like the party?
I mean, we need to figure that out. If I was to use my powers of deduction, what would you guys wish me to figure out with my powerful thought processes to
Big brain.
yeah.
How is the skill worded?
Oh, hold on, let me cue that up right now just to give you the exact words.
I like that in that situation I am the big brain technically, so that makes me feel good about myself.
Deduction. Once per game session, this skill can be claimed for the GM to provide you with a clue regarding the next step of your investigation.
So we just have to give him something to focus on and give us something.
Yes. And we will get... And somehow the insights will come to what would help resolve that thing we're looking to figure out. So it needs to be a little focused. It's, you know...
I think that you should hold off on using your big brain until like maybe we're in the situation, and if it starts to go off, like a way to disrupt. I don't know. That's just me.
Use it in an emergency.
Yeah. I think we should station ourselves around the place and get ready to disrupt it somehow if it still goes off.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Throw some more monkey wrenches in the works.
Yeah, because without their leaders, they'll be much more easily distracted away from what they should be doing. But they're all inclined to at least make the attempt to keep this going. I mean, they all seem very committed, even without their people coordinating. So it could still happen. Hold on. So many questions come to mind. What if Percy, you were there with me. How confident do you feel that the inspector will keep them there long enough that they won't be able to get out in time?
I think by their general protest, they were quite rowdy. I don't think they're going to be very calm, collected prisoners.
Yes, but
I think it's going to take some time for them to unravel.
Yeah.
and get sense out of them.
I'm just worried. He did have his instincts were really good. He could tell that they were not conspirators at a glance. His instincts were strong, which is the only thing that gives me pause.
They're going to have a hard time explaining and denying that telegram.
That is true. But I think he's inclined to believe them in the end. So, I don't know. But, yes, I think you're right. I think they are uncooperative enough that it'll buy us some time. All right, so we'll assume that they are not on the board for tonight. That just leaves yeah?
I wonder if word of their arrest has made it down to the actors at Place Clabert.
Would we want that, or would we not want that?
Well, they may have dispersed elsewhere. Hearing their leaders' arrest, they may be rallying.
Odile was there at the time of the arrest. Would she have seen anything?
And Kleber?
I was in a different place though.
No, you were where the performance is going to take place. Plus,
yeah.
With the actors, that's right. There were actors there. Most of the actors were there when the arrest.
Some of them were there. Yes, absolutely. Some of them were still
they
at
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but would they wouldn't know instantly, right?
No.
There were no
But
cell
it'd
phones
take-
back then, so no, they would
Yeah,
definitely.
it'd take
No.
a while for word to get across town.
But we were doing our thing there, and she was over there, and sometime, she didn't leave the second they got arrested because she didn't know either. So I'm just wondering if anything got word to them at any point while she was still there, and if not, knows. Okay, I'm just wondering.
Yes, Matthias?
Oh, I was thinking of that. Do you think there's any way for us to maybe misinform them about what's happening? Like, they'll be out right before the performance, and everyone just wait someplace for them to show up. That way, they are all not rallying; they're just waiting for something that's never going to happen. Or should we try scattering them, giving them all, like they're going to arrest everybody. You guys all need to hide, or the cops are going to just grab everybody, and so that they're all scattering to the wind in hopes to avoid capture. That would definitely end this. Either one of those, if they work properly, would end any chance at a performance. I don't know how we'd execute either of those, though. Percy?
Yes, Percy?
How did Levy react? Did he seem bothered by the explosives and drawing the connection between the explosives that they found and the suggestion that it was something to do with this performance and getting a lot of people in Place Clabert?
He seemed to be mostly.
Would you have done anything about that?
Well, he would have definitely tried to do something about that. Yes, if you got the feeling that he took that threat seriously, that he would definitely consider what you guys were saying, especially considering the proof, quote unquote, that you brought with you. So he did seem to be taking it seriously, at the very least.
So if we does that mean if we do a drive-by of Place Clabert, we're gonna potentially see a heightened police presence?
Potentially, you can try to drive this way, yeah. Depending on what time you're going, though, because he might still be busy right now with the interrogation. So, let me know where and when you would like to go.
Well, I guess we got to figure out what we want to do, but that was just a sidebar because.
No, that's a good thought, Percy. That's you're right. He would take that seriously and probably have more cops there. That would. Yes, thank you.
I expect probably later in the day, closer to the time of the performance.
Yeah. He might be expecting to gather a few more conspirators or hoping that they name somebody that they can arrest. Cops like to arrest somebody higher up, I assume, and maybe he's hoping that they'll name somebody more important than them. That might be at the performance. So maybe he might put cops there just in case. So, that doesn't answer our question of what we need to do. Should I try and look at all the pieces and see what I can figure out, or do you guys have inclinations?
Maybe we should at least drive past Place Kleber and see if it looks like they're still going through, or if they're like falling apart without the 4 people that were kind of in charge.
I think
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
Doesn't
see
hurt
what's
me.
happening with the troop and decide from there.
After we eat, of course, there'll be a little time
Yeah.
that's passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
if there's no police presence and it looks like they're still getting their shit together, could pull out all this beauty and tell them it's shut down by the city.
Oh yeah.
It's an idea.
Okay.
So we're going
So-
to Place Kleber after
Okay,
we eat.
After we eat.
After you eat, of course.
And- After we eat a pint.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're done eating, you would probably be close-ish to the time of the representation, probably around like 7:30-ish, 7:15, depending on like how close you want to cut it.
7:15.
15s? Okay, no problem. Getting there, you can see 2 things at an immediate glance. First of all, actors are getting ready, or at least some of them. You can also see that many of them do not seem very confident. They still have a bunch of papers in their pockets and trying to reread. You can see mumbling to themselves, probably rehearsing a little bit what they have to say. But there is this distinct lack of confidence that you have seen so far, but now something is a little bit off. Around 7:30, though, you start to hear the sound of cars, numerous cars coming up. Police cars, actually. You can see gendarmes getting out. Very much so. They are starting to evacuate Place Kleber. Or at the very least, prevent people from getting too close. You can see that they brought enough people to just circle around the whole square and just keep people out. Kind of make a sort of makeshift wall around the place until a few of them go into the middle and just start to look for stuff, investigate some stuff, and trying to find something. At the very least now, they are keeping people out of the square, which, quite humanly speaking, brings a lot of attention to Place Kleber, and a lot of curious people are getting close. They are looking at whatever is happening and just like, what do you think this is? You guys are on the outside of that human wall, but you can being in the middle of the crowd, you can definitely hear the mumbles.
Oh, we're
and
still in the car. We're still in the car.
In the car, yeah, but outside, you can still see like people are like, you know, taking a sidebar on the side, say, what do you think this is? Like, they didn't tell us anything. They just tell us not to go there and stuff. Oh, it's probably nothing. You know, they're always worried about nothing. And the actors themselves are really, really discombobulated. They do not know what is happening. They don't know if they still should perform. There is a very strong lack of dedication suddenly. And you can see at the very least 2 or 3 actors just dropping their papers and going the fuck off. The scene continues like that for quite a bit. There's like a few actors who are still a little bit, you know, dedicated to the things. You, Odile, would pick up on one man specifically, one of the actors who seems to be invested with the power of theater. And you would pick it up because he starts to recite the paragraph that got you so rattled last time.
Oh no.
You hear the very first words and it already rattles with your brain. You hear the man very tall. Along the shore, the cloud waves break.
How far away is he from me?
Not that far.
Like
He's
if
like,
I jump out of the car.
like 30 feet away or
Gonna go
something.
tackle him?
Yeah, I want to run up to him and just slap him across the face. Like,
Okay.
Hey!
Just for shits and giggles, give me a strength save, please.
oh yeah, that'll be fun. My. Oh yeah.
You come to like whip it and he just dodges the slap and continues. The twin suns sink behind the lake. The shadows lengthen.
Screaming in his face, like, stop talking, stop saying it, don't do it!
The shadow. What is wrong with you, lady? We are trying to do art here. What is wrong with you?
Is he reading from something?
Yes, he's reading from
Or
a
does he
paper.
have it memorized? All right. I want to, like, grab the paper from him then and try and, like, rip it.
Okay, we're coming to you, Matthias, in just a second. Give me a strength save to try to grab the paper from him.
Come on, Odie.
You can do it.
Oh.
You actually can do
My
it.
noodle
Congratulations. You grab the paper from him. He's like, what is wrong with you, lady? And you just like start to rip it away, and you're just like making confettis out of it. Matthias, what did you want to say?
Well, I was gonna walk up to him and go, Do you know what you're quoting from? What you're reading? This is really some dark stuff. That you're reading from the writings of somebody who is in and I'll think of some incredibly like anarchist kind of
Subversive.
like well, I was gonna say more xenophobic, like somebody who just really hated foreigners or something like that. Kind of like like some just real hateful kind of personality, maybe local to the area, like during the war or something like that. And like you're quoting directly from his writings and stuff like that, and trying to convince him that basically this is like kind of an in disguise dog whistle hate play that he's reading from.
As a note, if you would like to have him believe that, I'm gonna need a smoke roll from you. Do you still manage to? Do you still have a way to do that?
Yes, I do.
Great. So the guy.
Point of order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's still in the car with Percy?
I jumped out. So
At some point, watching this absolute shit show about to unfold, Percy will have whispered through to Maurice, "On my mark, sir. On my mark."
Whenever you
Maurice
say
will
sir.
know that. Maurice will know that as the universal sign is like, if Percy says go, like we're GTFO and those two are on their own, because he's like, this is fucking just too much.
Okay. Matthias, he seems very rattled by what you say. He's like, xenophobic? No. This is contrary to everything we're doing. Are you serious?
I am. Like, I think she's so upset. Did you see her reaction? You're like,
They did not tell us that. No. That's not what we are about. No, that's not okay. And he starts to like whistle to like some of his actor friends, going like, "Stop it!" And they all seem confused and kind of stop reciting for a bit.
Yeah.
They all start to gather near all of you, like, "What the fuck is going on?" Apparently, the guy we're reading from is xenophobic, and everything is like. Apparently, he's a very bad person. They seem shocked. They seem completely out of place.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, here's something that you do not see. A little bit further away, at the top of the hotel, let me just confirm which one. Sorry about that. It's not the Petit Papillon, just so you know.
Le Petit Papillon.
Yeah. No, not at all this one. Shit, I had it. Sorry about that. Yes, okay.
Is it
So-
Le Grand Papillon?
No. La Maison Rouge. The red house.
Red House.
La Maison.
Oh.
At the top of the hotel, on a very nice balcony, there is a man just enjoying the view, appreciating the beautiful view of Strasbourg. Next to him, he has a telescope, and he's actively looking through it. Some other man comes to the side and says, "Sir, we have a problem." Okay. What exactly happened? Well, you know, the actors, they are at the police right now. You do not say. Yes, sir. I'm very sorry. The man lets out a pretty long sigh. And he goes back to his telescope for a bit, looking up at the sky. The night is starting to come slowly. It's still a little bit of daylight, but you're at this sort of like midway between dusk and night, where you can start to see the stars, but there's still some blue in the sky. He's looking attentively at a set of stars that are shining especially bright today. And he just puts down the telescope and says, "Oh well. Unfortunately, it is time. So, let's just hope that this offering will be enough for the king." He pulls out a pistol from his pocket, lifts it up above his head and shoots 3 times. You, where you are, can faintly hear 3 gunshots far into the distance. And what happens next, you feel it before you see it. You start to feel the ground shake, followed immediately by a shockwave, an explosion. Enormous noise that puts everybody in a state of panic. Another explosion coming from somewhere else in the city. People are starting to shout, people are starting to scream. They are all getting closer to the police, who does not exactly know what to do right now. Another explosion. You start to hear screams of pain and agony. The explosions are getting more numerous and more concrete, and most of all, getting closer. You hear everywhere around you from 3 different sources coming all at once towards the center of the city. You can see, just at a quick glance, the street of 22 November exploding step after step. Enormous explosions, people getting caught in the middle of them, bodies being completely disheveled and exploded. And it's getting closer to the Place Kléber, the rhythm, before you have any time to act, until there is one very big, enormous, cataclysmic explosion on the place where you are right now, and you are all flung to the side and knocked out.
Uh-oh.
You're not exactly sure how long you've been out, but you wake up sore, pain everywhere. All of you have cuts and bruises, and looking around you, you can see a number of people you do not know. What you can also see is that you're no longer at the Place Kléber. You are in a smaller room, stone room with a window to the side, but there's this unnatural hue coming from outside. Looking around you, you wake up at different paces depending on your, constitution, but you can see all of your friends here, plus a few people that you have never seen in your life. There is a man in the corner of the room that sees that. "Oh, good. You're up. Let me get the boss." Just leaves through a wooden door for you to peacefully wake up. Peacefully as much as you can, with the ears still ringing. And looking through the window, you can see that you are high. You are in a tower of some sorts, overlooking the whole city. You do not recognize much of it. The sky is a red, unnatural color. You can see all across the city this sort of wall of red mist that completely surround the whole city. The streets down are shifted and twisted in a way that makes absolutely no sense. You can see that the buildings are a certain configuration that you do not remember. Then you just blink and the buildings are different. And the streets are flooded. The only landmark that you actually recognize is Strasbourg Cathedral. You can see it with an enormous lake in front of it. You can see dark creatures flying all across it. At first you think they are storks, but they seem bigger, more akin to bats. really hard to pinpoint what they are. But what you see most of all, and that really disturbs you, is above the cathedral are shining 3 red suns. Welcome to the city in yellow. And this is where we're going to stop for today.
Ah!
My goodness.
We did a
We
good job,
succeeded.
guys!
We succeeded and failed so spectacularly.
This was a triumph. Anywho, we will see what the rest of the journey for investigators is going to be in this Avatar Carcosa. We will meet each other in 2 weeks on October 7th, roughly at the same time. For people who are watching in New Zealand, keep in mind that this is no longer 4 a.m. but 5 a.m. because of daylight savings and all that kind of bullshit. But in the meantime, just to keep
Just
yourself on your toes, there's a lot of good content. What were you about to say, Percy?
I was going to say that playing this game is not messing with my circadian rhythm at all.
Absolutely not. But in the meantime, you have a ton of fun content to watch in the meantime. Right in a few hours, you're going to have a Gallant Horde game, which is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, the Lumberjack's Revenge. Is any of you in the game today? None? Okay, cool. It's going to be another group. That's going to be fun. Next week, there's not going to be a Horde game, but there's going to be episode 2 of the Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Monaco by Night, with Kit and yours truly. And we meet each other on October 7th. Well, 8 for New Zealand, but yes, you got the idea. In the meantime, all of you, welcome to the City in Yellow. Have a great time zone, and see you soon. Bye.
We tried, everyone.